What's up, everybody? Good morning. Tommy here, Math Productions, and we have finally made it to the last part of the UC Vanguard faction questline. Before we went up to Londinion, we stopped at our base. It's at the same spot. We're here on Tolliman II, and that's that forward base that we've seen the POI for anytime we've looked at the map of Tolliman II itself, and that's where the city of Londinion is, the city you've been hearing about this entire quest line that was decimated by a terrormorph attack, and now we're here at ground zero in the thick of it, right? And so again, we stopped at our base first so we could unload any extra gear that we've been carrying. We decked out our companions in some UC marine type gear, so they looked a little bit better coming with us on this final mission. Hopefully you noticed last episode we also upgraded their regular apparel, so that way instead of wearing explorer gear, they were like us and wearing UC gear as well. But when you get here to Londinion, the start of this final quest, you meet up, you talk about a plan, you head over into this building. That's where you get the main loot rewards, or gear rewards, that this questline offers. You get a legendary full set of anti-xeno type UC spacesuits. You get a awesome micro gun, and then obviously, as you see on screen, tons of other stuff that you can pick up. Don't forget to stop through that little area before you go into the main quest line so you can get all of those rewards. Because we're using 510 Deshawn's apparel, and we have that special Atlas suit that is far superior even to the anti-xeno suit, we're going to go ahead and give that one to our boy Simeon. Look at him. Dude just looks like a beast. I feel super safe with him at my 6. We got the Adoring Fan with us. We got Armament with us, the robot from the Ramtech AI mod. And we do have McNuggets. Technically still out in the field. McNuggets moves so slow, so most of the time when I'm running through these POIs, dude is way left in the dust behind us. But I mean, he tries. He truly covers our 6, right? So Simeon and Adoring Fan might be right up there behind me, covering my back, but McNuggets is even further behind them, covering their backs. That's the way I look at it. Oh no, we're at 15% phone battery, if you saw that notification pop up on screen. But once you get into Londinion here, you face off with a bunch of mind-controlled xenos. Take those out. There's another little stop to grab a bunch of good gear that you're going to need, especially in this part here. But if you follow what I'm doing on screen, it makes it way easier. This section of Londinion, there are 2 terrormorphs that you have to take out. If you come out, jump up to the highest point on this building that you initially come out of, you should have a clear sight on the terrormorph on the right hand side of your screen. Hopefully you can eliminate that one before it gets close enough. They do have ranged attacks that are really strong. So you need to keep your distance, but you should be able to take out that one on the right, no problems. And then if you go over to the left-hand side, facing in towards the main combat area, you can skirt along the edges elevated to provoke that second terrormorph. And once you've provoked, oh, see, look at that. You see that? Almost lost it right there. We were down to a sliver of red, and dude was super far away from us. Those terrormorphs can definitely end this part of the mission very quickly, so that's why if you've seen a couple cuts to black and right back to where we were, that's because we were quick saving. I definitely took advantage of the ability to quick save as we were going through this, mostly so I didn't have to have like 3 hours of raw footage with constant restarting due to deaths. So we save scummed along the way to make it a little bit easier and streamline the both play and recording process, right? But once you take out the 2 terrormorphs that are facing off against you here at this part, there are 3 containers that you have to get into that have genetic material that you need for one of your solutions that's presented to you for the terrormorphs at the end of this questline. Spoilers, but we won't go too in depth till we get there. Ultimately, there are 2 ways that you, as a settled system, can handle the terrormorph threat. And they're two drastically different ways of handling it. They're in the same ballpark, but they are two completely different ways of solving this problem. But we'll talk about it when we get to that point. This moment here in the quest line is the big dun dun dun. I guess there's maybe one more, but it's already alluded to, but this is the big one for the terrormorph specifically. You see that when the heat leeches come around or in contact with the Lazarus plant, it hyper stimulates the evolution of the heat leeches into the terrormorphs. It kind of ties together all those times you've heard ship technicians say, don't forget to clear out the heat leeches, check for heat leeches. There's a couple mods that deal with heat leeches specifically that we might check out at some point down the line. But the heat leeches are Roman horses, basically. Trojan horses, sorry, for the bad guys, right? In this instance, being able to sneak heat leeches, or just knowing that heat leeches are in abundance in most settled systems, being able to get them in contact with the Lazarus plant will make them turn into terrormorphs, and we all know the devastation that terrormorphs will cause once they're there, right? So again, that moment is where you see, wait, something's going on. And then when you finally get up into this office here, which is where you need to restart the power to open up that last door to get to that final boss fight, a recording will start to play. And it's from those moments before Londinion was ultimately bombed to the condition that it's in currently. And it's in this recording that you have your definitive proof and confirmation that victus was behind everything the entire time. They knew what was going on with the terrormorphs, the heat leeches, the Lazarus plant, how they all work together, how you could use that as an invisible, unseen enemy, that you could get behind enemy lines and cause untold amounts of destruction, right? And again, invisible. No one else would have known or seen or had any idea it was coming until it was too late, even against your own people here at Londinion. Or now we can make that conclusion that that's what happened in New Atlantis and other places as well, right? Tau Ceti. But once you hear that recording, you say, hey, we're going to handle this later. You go through this final blast door, and when you get to that blue dot, quest marker is the term I couldn't think of the other day, or the other episode, when I kept just saying the blue dot thing. Quest marker, it's the main terrormorph. It's a giant terrormorph. I was ready to show off this micro gun. I had like 150,000 credits before coming here. I spent the majority of them on 2 different weapons, a modified Kadoma that's going to give me extra med packs, and then a super awesome 40mm grenade launcher, basically. That's what I pulled out here to use on that thing. But my gang cleared it with no issues. Again, roaming around with a handful of companions definitely does make the game easier, but I'm here for it. I love it. I don't need to be the one that gets all the accolades for taking down the terrormorph. I'm going to anyway in the game. I love, though, knowing that I could not have done it the way I did it without my team, that we had each other's backs, that we were there together working towards the same goal, and we accomplished it as one. That's the way I see it. That's the way I like to imagine it happened. Our initial explorer group, research group of just us and Simeon, who we paid to hire it on for basically extra muscle and protection. The adoring fan. We've added in McNuggets. We've added in armament. And we're going to add in a few more companions before this thing's over with. But we all did it together. We are going to be heroes of the UC. But again, I'm the only one who's going to get the rewards directly, so we're going to share it amongst the team. But once you take out that final terrormorph, you get back to Londinion, you talk to Dr. Percival, you guys decide to take everything, or you guys have to take everything, back to the cabinet. Before going to the cabinet, though, we confront victus one last time, let them know we know what's going on. They try to plead their way into basically keeping the status quo at least as is. They want to keep their secret intact. They want us to actually work for them. So if you do decide to spare Vey, then you can continue to get missions from them after the UC questline has concluded. Us though, and our stance, and I'm so thankful it's a dialogue option in this final conversation with the cabinet, but you can actually have Hadrian let them know what's going on. We can simply say that we support the cabinet and whatever they think is the best decision. They think the best decision is finally getting rid of Vey, and I do not feel strongly enough against it to try to persuade them any differently. So that will be the end of Vey Victus in this playthrough and in this storyline. We will not have the opportunity to pick up any missions from them, but I'm okay with that. And the last thing you have to decide is how to deal with the terrormorphs. There is a biological, chemical warfare type aspect where you can release something into the wild that will over time eliminate the terrormorphs, but it absolutely has a chance to mutate and attack other creatures. Or you can choose to populate settled systems with these beautiful bad boys, the Achilles or Achilles, I don't know how to say it right. They're natural dominant predators over the terrormorphs, and they will eliminate those naturally. Us being a xenobiologist, we went with the latter option, and we were rewarded through Xeno Master the mod because we now have our own terrormorph eating baddie right here as a buddy every step of the way from where we go from here. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this quest line. I hope that you guys consider subscribing to the channel for what's to come next. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Take care.